What's going on, guys? Today we are back. We've got, I think it's episode number 4 of Broke to Millionaire series. We're going to start this episode off by working on our first dose, number 6, off the rails. And in this one, this is the final DAX mission for the first doses. So it is one of the hardest ones. So we're just going to get started by heading over to Humane Labs, and we'll kind of sort of go from there. But this one is probably going to be about as bad as the Ultras Camp one in the long run. I have put this episode off for a little while now, even though I already have it ready to go. I just never did get around to finishing audio work and everything else, and then I just kind of done my own thing, you know. So, with all that being said, we're going to get up here, drive to the Humane Labs, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video, because it's all into the process of getting everything going. After this, we'll probably focus on some more of the retarded stuff. I need to do the treasure hunt and go ahead and take care of that, but that'll be virtually an episode for another day. May end up working on that very soon, though. Still got to do mod bounties, etc. So, we got a ways to go. But, for now, we're going to focus on getting our acid lab ready, and then kind of sort of move in from there. I'm going to try to give you guys a money guide on one of my other successful profiles, more or less, but that's also for another day. I'm not quite ready for that one yet, but we're gonna get there, and it's gonna take a little bit to set up everything, but you know, it's all part of a big process, and my dumbass has went the wrong way. I should have just went straight through. Instead, I come all the way the wrong way around, and now we're getting fucking obliterated. But at the same time, like, it's all good. Still feeling a little bit of sickness, and you probably can tell it in my voice. That's part of the reason I haven't been on any kind of audio work virtually since I started uploading the first of the year. My kids has been super duper sick, and I've been sick, but you know, it's always one thing after another, and I've just decided you'll have to deal with my voice sounding funky and everything else, because I wanted to get this video out for everybody and kind of sort of go from there with everything. But you know, it's always one thing and then another with me, so I mean, I'm quite used to it, and this heist should go better than expected. At least I'm hoping. We've already died once, and that was kind of my fault because I went the wrong way. But this job, I mean, it's about like the other one, the Ultras Camp one, when you don't have a homing launcher, etc. But I've been trying to save our money because in previous episodes, as I stated, our objective is to own every business in the game. with upgrades, so that also leaves us doing 10 Dax Fulligan missions, and you gotta wait every 48 minutes for those, so that's gonna fucking be a bit shitty. I'm not sure what we will end up buying next as of this point, but we don't have CEO office, none of that yet. But I feel like we might could afford one of those very soon. We do have that cash factory, and we probably should go check that place out very soon. Haven't been there yet. We may visit that in the next episode. That's on my to-do list as well, because that could bring us in some income. It's not going to be great, but you know, I've always said something is better than nothing, and you know, including the document forgery, we have to own that as well with upgrades. I'm not really counting security upgrades into that upgrades, but at this point we might as well, if we can afford them, go ahead and get that as well. But so we're gonna have to work hard in this series. But the objective of this series is to prove to you guys that, hey, we can make money fairly quickly. I mean, we're 4 episodes in and have the Dax missions done. It kind of falls down a little bit after you do first and last dose. But, you know, there's no reason that you guys can't make it through all of this and have a pretty fun time doing it as well. The only part I hate with the first and last dose missions is a lot of them is fucking dumb, and that's about how I feel about it, really. It's just fucking dumb. But you know, getting your acid lab going is it's worth doing per se, because it's easy money and you need to be utilizing that. But to me, it's not as effective if you're not making do with doing the Fulligan's missions to get the upgrades. Like, that is one of those things that it needs to be done. You know, there's virtually no way around it. So it's kind of sort of do or die in that sense. I mean, we spend a lot of money doing these missions, you know, as a low level, because it's not really nothing that you can't manage. It's something that you should be managing, and that's just the way it goes. But finding these fucking chemicals is quite frankly a bitch sometimes when you get multiple enemy spawns in here. To me, this mission is it's mild compared to, you know, fucking the Ultras Camp one and all of that one. So I keep forgetting how you gotta destroy this. Can you just shoot it? No, you just gotta interact with it. I thought you could just shoot it, but now see, something like this would be helpful if I could call in a buzzard or something, but I'm just gonna have to be Mr. Jackass here and take one of these vehicles and go race to a fucking train, because I can't get back over there to my motorcycle. But at the same time, like, this mission, it went better than expected. I remember the first time I ever done this mission, it was a bit of a bitch, and I know I could save a lot of time in these doing a lot of the cutting and stuff, but I want you guys to see what it takes. Like, I try to do these as much as I can in real time, especially like when I'm in a job. But if I'm in free roam, like, I have no problems speeding up, etc. You know, we need virtually everything we can get to make do with everything. Custom bike shop too as well. Like, we need that. That could come in handy. wouldn't also hurt to be looking into auto shops, etc., because we can do contract work with that, make us some easy money. Like, I mean, I don't care how long this series is, so long as you guys are interested in it and want me to continue. If you don't want to see me continue, feel free to comment and let me know. That way I don't continue wasting my time with this series. But like, I'm really interested in this. I've put in, this is about 4 hours into this profile, which is not a lot of time. And I mean, we've already acquired, so to speak, our second business. Third if you count MC Clubhouse, but I don't really count those because this is on E&E and I didn't just make a new a new character. I actually made a whole new account, so we started with the $4 million, which, I mean, I feels a bit cheaty for this series, but it's just part of the plan. I don't want you guys to think I done that shit on purpose, but starting as a level 1, it's not complicated. Even without the 4 million, you can just grind and do odd and end shit, and you can get enough money to get what you need. But there's a reason, because I spent all the money investing and all of that, but I've made use of everything else. I haven't even touched counterfeit cash yet. And I wanted to get through with, all the first doses and all the last doses, because, I mean, it's good money. Time you accumulate all of that and then turn it around and mix it all together, you've made a good chunk of money to invest. And there's nothing wrong with how I started the series. I wanted to be different than everybody else, because I know there's a lot of these videos out there on the net, and I didn't want to do it word for word how everybody else does it. But I know a lot of people always start with first dose and then work on last dose and then move outward, and that's just the way this has got to be. Because, I mean, you get good money off of these, and I'd be stupid not to start here and work my way out. I could have very easily just done a supercut for all of this, but I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to split it up episodic and make my own self work for everything a lot harder, because I've given myself a time limit and a challenge. And right now, I don't even have a homing launcher, so we're doing this shit the old-fashioned way, just using what we know and everything else. But we're gonna get through this. We might end up dying, and we might end up having to go through this section again, but we're gonna get through, and then pretty much like the next thing you'll end up seeing is acid lab setup, and then we'll do the introduction to the acid lab, and then I think we'll end this episode off with the HSW time trial. So it's all kind of in a stage-to-stage process, if you get what I'm saying. I would like to take a break from these missions before I start the last doses, but I feel like we should just go ahead and chop through those as quickly as possible. And while I'm looking to spend a load of time working my way through everything, sometimes I don't know how it's gonna go and work out for us. Which, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with the pace that we're making. You know, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? You know, you see all these people, they start at level 1 again just for fun. To me, I wanted to do a way you guys could make money fastly, you know? And it's not very fast, but say you know, you only got an hour to play. You know, you can still get quite a bit done in an hour's time if you don't die a lot like I have. Like, this episode wasn't even 40 minutes. Like, I felt the need to end it there before I got started on something else. And I really should have, you know, just went on through with another mission or headhunter, etc. But I didn't feel the need to, you know. So the way I've done everything, it's just not pointless per se, but I wanted you guys to, you know, kind of see it through and know that you can take your time and still progress pretty quickly. Like, don't rush this game, because once you accomplish everything and you have everything, then you're just patiently waiting for something new to come out. Take your time, enjoy the game if you're, you know, fresh or just even starting new again. Find your place, find what you love and what works out for you. Like, I've got what works for me, you know, everybody's different. And I'm going to end up showing you what I do that earns my money. And I'm not going to end up doing it on this account. I mean, we will eventually as we progress, but, you know, just, I want to make it to where you guys understand and comprehend what I'm working with. You know, right now we're working with almost nothing. And that's fine. You know, we've made our commitment, and from there, you know, things only get better as we go. Once we start owning more things, you know, once we get things that make us money, we can invest and buy those cars and everything else we want. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're going to merely just work on what we can and just kind of do it from there. Like, we need to get an oppressor, and to do that you got to own a nightclub, and then you got to buy a terabyte. So, you know, virtually we got a lot to do in our series here, and we're gonna do it sooner rather than later, even if the nightclub is the very next thing I buy. But that would be pretty drastic for us, because a nightclub costs about $10 million to get set up with everything that you need. And I mean, I don't have to have the garage space, but if I'm going to do it, I might as well, right? And I mean, same goes for the CEO office. I'd like to have the garage space, be able to comfortably afford that for when I'm ready. You know, so I don't play a lot of expanded and enhanced. I play last gen version a lot because, well, I just didn't want to transfer my character, because all my friends, they're still mainly on last gen version, even though we all own new systems. And, you know, this guide works on last gen too, minus HSW time trials. You got the bicycle time trials, you got the regular car trials, and yeah. So, you know, in a way, take advantage of what you can, and, you know, we'll kind of work our magic from there, you know. But, you know, as you can tell, my stats is improving, which is what we need. You know, our characters got to get stats together, or we're not going to survive any of this in the long run, because well, the guy's going to be god awful, but we can offset not having an oppressor by using a buzzard CEO ability. It'll cost us $25,000 or some shit like that, but $25,000 is a lot easier to come up with than $6 million. So that's a big hit and a lot of money. And we also need to get a bunker together and use that wisely. We need to start research and all that, but that's not always. I mean, it is important and it will help you in the end, but in the beginning, I mean, $210,000 worth of cash with upgrades to sell is not a bad idea whatsoever, and I'm going for the expensive businesses in some of the better locations, and while I don't have 4 people to do, or even an extra person to help me out to do anything with the facility, we still have to buy it, etc. So it's kind of going to be one of those things. Like, if it's something I can't do solo, I'm probably not going to do anything with it, but we're going to own it. And that's where it gets tough because, I don't do KO Perico at all. I don't need to. I make plenty of money doing other things. So, with a lot of that being said, there's kind of no point in me doing anything with it other than, buying it for the Sparrow and possibly the submarine if I was to happen to want that. But that's kind of part of the challenge, and I want to own everything as planned, even if we got to buy it a little at a time and kind of go from there. But I'm not sure our next take, what we're going to be working with, kind of sort of after the last dose missions. Those aren't terribly hard, not as bad as these first ones was, but some of them get a bit finicky. But I do believe that, in all seriousness, we can make it through this series fairly time efficiently as long as we stay working. We're going to have to work on a lot to get everything going for us. And this was our starting bracket. Acid Lab's pretty decent money with the upgrades. Who knows? I may lead the next episode off with a Fooligan mission, then go into our cash factory, and then we might jump back on and work with, try to get a couple first or last doses in. All the same, like, I don't know. Right now, what's important is getting what we need to get done. And then we'll worry about how we take our next step. But I do know that last dose is going to be our next step because we need that money. And like I said, we also need to work on the treasure hunts and the mod bounties as well. So that could be something we do next episode and don't get straight back into last dose. I'm not going to say for sure, but just know that it's coming, and I want you guys to expect all of that as well. The treasure hunts get to be a bastard. I will say it gets to be a bastard. And then we need to do the Los Santos slasher one for either I think it's the Navy or the double action. I can't remember, but We got last dose 6 done. We made $14,000. Plus we get, I think it's 250,000 completion. I'm going to take a little audio break and I will be back with you guys momentarily. Alright guys, so in this part of this video we are going to work on our acid lab setup. And right now we got to drive around a minute and kind of sort of just wait on Dax to give us a call. There's our 250,000 that I was talking about. I was initially going to squeeze in the time trial here, but I'm afraid time I get over there, Dax is going to be ready for us to do that setup. So, and then I want to work on that to get that behind us. So, like I said, it's all part of our process, but, you know, the HSW time trial is just right here. So, yeah, see, I told you Dax would be calling, so I'm not going to do the time trial right this minute. We will come back to this at the very end, but I'm going to let him do his talking. And then from there we'll shoot over to one of his marked locations and get our equipment for the lab. I think that one's actually the closest. So now see, I could save some time by fast forwarding, but I didn't want to do none of that this episode because it's already short enough. I mean, we don't want to hear Dom's bullshit about parachuting. But as we work our way, you know, what was your favorite parts of the first dose missions? Like, I like the part where you're done, more or less. And the one where you're doing the rabbit, which I think is 4. Because I'm pretty sure 5 is the Ultras camp. I would have to go back and check again. It's been a while. But, you know, like, these videos, they're not, my videos, I mean, they're meant for entertainment purposes. I want you guys to have a good time while you're watching. And, I mean, right now, I mean, things is just, it's repetitive. We got to get through with this. The whole damn game's repetitive, you know, in that sense. You can make things work. You just gotta, what you say, want it. You know, I don't have fun with these missions. I don't like these missions, but I actually enjoy having the acid lab for a money method. It does work. And it is helpful. But they could have worked on this fucking forklift shit. Like, it's a fucking bitch to get this damn thing on here. And then back out of it. Without taking it back off of the truck with you. Like, I kind of just finagled that we got more people coming in. We need to take care of those, because I don't want to die 10,000 times while we're working on this. But, I mean, even if we do, it's okay, because we're still at low level, and we're still working on everything, you know, boosting our stats, and, you know, things get rough before they get better in this game. Like, I'm doing all of this in a private session because I don't want to be griefed by fucking people. And I know it's still a fucking thing, but, you know, sometimes we need to take those chances to fully better ourselves and make more money. But, you know, a lot of this isn't in my wheelhouse. This is not my favorite parts of these videos is the stupid fucking Dax missions. I mean, they are fucking stupid, but you know, in the end, it's all part of a process to get to the things that I do enjoy. Like, I don't like the fucking Fooligan missions either. I fucking absolutely hate them. And that's just kind of my thing about it. You know, I don't personally know anybody that after they do the 10 Fooligan missions that they have to do. I don't personally know people that still do them. I'm not going to do them anymore. Not even remotely, because I don't fucking like them. But this is our last piece of lab equipment we need. We just got to get it onto the flatbed here. Which we got that one pretty easy. We just got to get the truck out of here and then can kind of do our own thing, but that was pretty much all there was to this part. I mean, it's quite simple. You go in, you keep a few people killed and entertained, and then you just grab the 3 lab equipment boxes and get your ass back over to the freak shop with this slow ass truck. But our next little section of the video will be the introduction video to the acid lab, and then we'll be back to go head over and do that time trial that I was talking about for the HSW, which I can't remember what exactly that pays. I think it's $250,000 or some shit. We'll find out. My brain is a fried ass taco, and yeah. It's been a long couple of weeks, and my voice is starting to get tired. Luckily, we're getting ready to wrap up the video, but I'll be back, guys. Alright, guys, I let my voice rest for a few minutes. I'm sorry, it's just, like I said, my voice feels like ass right now. Let's go ahead and pay the, whatever the hell that said, $750,000 or whatever to get the acid lab set up. May have been $250,000, but it's gonna do us a little walkthrough part here. Once we walk in, we got our lab set up, installed, etc. Like I said, it's all part of the process, but that's pretty much a wrap on first dose, and I'm so fucking glad, because it felt like it took forever to get through these. These I feel like are a bit longer than the last dose missions. I feel like you get through those so much quicker, but you know, in a right, like I said, it's this is a build up for what's to come, guys. You know, we're gonna have to use this acid lab to make some dough and get our setups going, but I think we will end up moving off into, I know hanger crates is really good money nowadays, so we couldn't go wrong with working on those as well. Like, I'm one of those, like, I don't care about what type it is. I know you get a bonus, but doing it solo fucking sucks, grinding crates back to back to back to back. And I know we could do something with that, but I think we might start with CEO crates, etc. That stuff first. I'm gonna go ahead, pay Bumbo what he needs, 60 grand. And I'm gonna go ahead and boost this before supplies get delivered. So it's on my to-do list, but we're going to change our lab name. And our name eventually for everything. We're going to call it Pedro Incorporated, because our character's name is Pedro. Do we have any other names available yet? Yeah. So that's pretty much going to do it for this section, guys. I am going to probably take a brief audio cut again to let my voice rest before we head over and work on the time trial for HSW. But I feel like we've had a pretty productive episode, and that's about all I can say. I will be back, guys. Alright guys, let's head over and work on the HSW time trial that I was going to work on briefly before, but it's all good. We'll make do. Let's just hope that we can actually beat this time trial. I am rocking the Haikuchu drag, so we shouldn't have much issues with it. You know, this is I think it's a 2-minute par. I did not mean to do that, but anyway. We're gonna finish piecing all of this together right after we finish up this audio section, and I should be able to have this video out for you guys. Alright, let's mark location. It's all the way over toward the beach, right at the mask shop. Alright, let's do the restart thing. We have our location set. We know which way we gotta go now. I know these time trials get to be a bit of a fucking headache, but I'm gonna try to bump my way to the farthest edge as I can, but if we can do this without wrecking, we may be okay. My character's driving ability is still fucking horrible, so he can't really handle the motorcycle all that well yet. He can't handle any fucking vehicle worth a damn, but I believe that as long as we try hard enough, we can make this time trial happen in one shot here. Because, I mean, personally, we need to. It's pretty quick money, and you get these every week. Like, I meant to get this episode done a long time ago, because I'd done this episode before the Chop Shop come out, and I wanted to have it done before then, because I was going to do a video showcasing the new Chop Shop once I bought it, but it was pretty horrible anyway. It's okay, but it's not great money, but it can be, you know, with the tow truck side of things and the wall safe and then the once a week doing the 3 cars. I mean, you can do pretty decent with it, but it's nothing to shout home about. And it looks like we beat it. $250,000, so I was right, but that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.